Hello, this is my video presentation for assignment 2. In this video I will go over the UI elements and the sounds that I have added since last video. I will first begin with the sounds that I have added, and I will also showcase the UI elements that I have added. And in terms of the sounds, I have added a background music sound, a door close sound, a door bang sound, which is when the enemy hits the door, an enemy footstep sound, a camera up and down sound, and a flash beacon sound. Here is my background music sound. And you can also hear the enemy footsteps, which are locational, so the player will hear them on the side that they're actually located in. There's the camera up sound and the camera down sound. Here is also the flash beacon sound. And there's also a sound for when this player bangs on the door. Here's the door sound. And the bang sound. There's also UI elements, for example this progression. This is linked up to the player. And there is also UI for the door integrity. For example, when the enemy banged on the door integrity went down. My camera also has these buttons, which as you can see change the cameras. And once I reach a minute, which is there, once I reach a minute into playtime, the progression will change. Once I reach 6 minutes, this progression will reach 100% and the player will win. How these sounds work is that they are located in folders. I have a folder for my wife sound and my meta sounds. Most of the meta sounds are mono. For example, my camera up is a mono sound. I have linked up this asset and it's been pitch shifted by 8. This is so that the camera down is pitch shifted by less, which is why it sounds different from when going up and down. For my enemy footstep sound, it is a stereo because it needs to be heard in the correct location. And it also starts at 10.3 because the sound asset has a lot of footsteps, and I just chose to use those 3 footsteps at the end of the sound. How these are actually working is that the enemy has an audio component which references the enemy footsteps meta, and the override attenuation setting is also true, and when the enemy moves around it is simply just played. For my UI elements, I have them in this folder called HUDs, and for example for when my camera is down, I have this progression and this text block which is linked up to the player. So there's a cast to the player and it takes this variable and it runs it through a switch statement to determine however much percentage the player should be on. There is also these boxes here for when the player hovers over them, it runs through a cast and a function that is located in the player to turn the camera left, right, up or down. There was a bug that I found. If the player clicked on any of these, then it would set the focus to those boxes, to the HUD, so the player wouldn't be able to input anything anymore because the focus on the HUD. So when I released them, I would set the focus to game viewport to fix that bug. The camera HUD has another meta UI because it is part of the camera, supposedly. This too is linked up to the door class. So there's a cast to the door class and it gets the door health and it returns it, which is how the value is able to go up and down. And these buttons are all run through a blueprint interface. So for example, when the player clicks on the first button, it runs through a blueprint interface and it sets this value to 0. This is referenced in the blueprint, level blueprint, where it runs it through a switch and it sets the camera to the correct location based on the button that has been clicked.